Hi everyone. Okay, this is really shocking. This is an interview with William Kay in Hong Kong from July 9th. I'm on King World News blog. And what he says in this interview is that, so if you go down here, I had a hard time finding this. I'll put the link below if you just want to go read it yourself. But he says all the gold has been sold into the market, and that German gold that the Germans are waiting, the U.S. told them they had to wait 7 years to get it. They will never get it because it doesn't exist anymore for them. And he says that the gold is leased out, and I'm not really sure how that works, but the gold is leased out and it gets sold and it gets into the market, and it's just things are still look like they own it on paper. It says it right here, but that gold winds up in places like Beijing. And before it gets to Beijing, it goes through Hong Kong. And when it goes through Hong Kong, it goes to our refiner, the same people we use. And by the way, Eric King. We may own some of the gold that Germany thinks that they own, but Germany will never see that gold because it's safely stored in my account and for our investors at the Hong Kong International Airport. I don't understand this. How can they say Germany will never get their gold and it's in their account? I don't get it. Regarding that gold, which could have had the symbol of the Bundesbank right here on it when it arrived in Hong Kong, a leading refiner, one of the biggest in the world that deals with the People's Bank of China, certified that yes, we've got the gold available that we can deliver. We've melted it down, we've tested it. It may have had the Bundesbank symbol on it when it arrived, but now it's melted down to 999 fine gold. How can this be? So even the Fed gold, there is none there, according to William Kay. The gold that the Germans have been told they will get back in 7 years, they'll never get back because it doesn't exist anymore at the Fed. I own it. The People's Bank of China owns it. The Reserve Bank of India owns it. The Central Bank of Russia owns it. But the people of Germany and America don't own it. Isn't that stealing? I don't get it. Does anyone know? All right. So he says, reading between the lines, and you don't have to read too much between the lines, it's all a farce, the gold is gone. It's been hypothecated and rehypothecated, it's gone. Not only do the Fed and the U.S. Treasury not own 1,000 or more tons, they probably own nothing. So this was right after, this is in July 9th, and you know, the banks, the ABO, AMRO Bank, could not deliver the actual gold to people who had accounts on paper. And this is continuing. So I just want to show you this. Russia is continuing to buy gold. Russia is buying, can you imagine Obama standing there holding a bar of gold like this? Wouldn't that be incredible? Anyway, this is July 29th, and Russia is buying $500 million of gold every month. And Kazakhstan is also buying gold. Azerbaijan, Kyrgyzstan, Ukraine, Greece, Belarus, Bulgaria are also adding amounts. But England is letting go of gold. And supposedly Germany won't. I know Germany has some, and Italy still has a lot, but I don't know, I don't understand all of that. But also I want you to know that this bank has also closed gold accounts July 19th. So when the gold goes down $200, it's bargain priced, right? So these banks can, central banks are continuing to buy, and especially China and Russia and India. Of course, India is blocking the average person from buying gold right now. But there's one other thing here that I have to show you, and that is also South Korea is going to start a gold exchange. I forgot to show you that. Russia is starting their own gold. Moscow Exchange launches first precious metals trading. And look what they say. Got a Liberty Bell there. Putin says they will deliver the gold that people buy the next day. All right, the stock exchange is going to start trading gold and silver by the end of the year, and platinum and palladium in 2014. Trading physical metals is expected to boost liquidity in the market and attract more participants. So the comment down here is, all right, our commodity market is not transparent. We're a gold exporting country. We produce a large number of precious metals. However, the trade volume is significantly lagging behind our peers. Okay, there's Mikhail Orlenko, commodity market director. All right, the Moscow Stock Exchange. The Moscow Stock Exchange plans to transport precious metals from production companies, keep them in its own stores, and deliver to the buyer next day. Interesting. Okay, so they're starting that the end of the year, and 2014, palladium and platinum, and they're going to deliver. They're not just going to be on paper like the COMEX and not deliver, and these other banks that don't deliver. Okay. All right, so I will put the link so you can see for yourself. And I wanted to show you that, okay, this is really good here. So you've got to hear or read the interview with William Kay. It's just unbelievable. I don't understand how that can be. So this is silver. Oh, this is yeah, Silver Doctors. No, this is not Silver Doctors. Oh, I don't know what it is. I want to show you some comments here, because the comments are really, learn a lot from comments. Okay, this is, okay, purpose for major gold raid was to prevent all major bullion banks from defaulting, like ABN AMRO. It's ABN, I think I said ABO. All right, so Kay said, stating that the entire 3-month paper gold raid was orchestrated to prevent the imminent systemic gold default by the bullion banks in the days following the April gold default by ABN AMRO. Okay, so I'm going to go down here, and you can, I'll put the link down here so you can go listen to his interview. Or you can go to King World News and go to broadcast in the right-hand top side. Okay, these comments. And the reason I think that this is important is because this has to do with wealth and truth. You know, I mean, if you're being lied to about the money and what you have, and if you have money in the bank, and then they just started to tax Australians for in case there's going to be a bail-in, so things are really changing with the banks and money. And the money is kind of evil because the dollar bills have the pyramid and the eye. And they say, "In God we trust." And what I've been learning recently is that the founding fathers in the USA were totally Masonic, Luciferian worshippers. And the ones from below the 33rd degree Masonic members, they didn't really know that much, but above that, they're practicing the rituals and the sacrifices and totally getting their power from Lucifer. It's just the way it is. So if you look on the beautiful Liberty dollar coins and it says, "In God we trust," which God is that? Something to think about. Okay, so, all right, sorry to go back and forth here. Hedgie, okay, Hedgie's comment from this point, okay, here's who it is. Hedgie, July 17th. I just read this right here. And unfortunately, that includes those who thought that precious metals would be their ticket out of purgatory. We were sold a bill of goods. And no, I'm not coming to that conclusion from an anti-gold point of view. I've been all in for a couple years now and would quite possibly have done it all over again the same way if I had the chance. But it's about location, location, location now. They left nothing to chance and will be barring the final exit shortly. I wonder what he means by that. You won't be able to sell your gold? Or if you sell your gold or your silver, what will you get back? What will they offer you back? Will it even be worth anything, or can you use it? I don't know what he means. The central banks are centrally controlled by one owner. Sovereign governments are not a factor. Kay's words confirm the obvious there. China, and perhaps to some extent Putin's Russia, if he can put together a deal with the rump of Germany not doomed to inclusion in the forthcoming Carnival of Souls, is the only wild card left. Got an exceedingly strange message from my gold storage company this week, and using the same tools of inference and reading between the lines as Mr. K, have come to the conclusion that it's time to get everything out of the West as soon as possible. In or out of this system, they will find a way to loot everything. Kay's words should be parsed with that in mind, my friends. It should go without saying, if you get your wealth out intact, you need to get your arse out intact equally. The fact that Kay had no qualms about naming the refiner was the giveaway. The game is up. So I don't like what I see what's going on in the USA, and I wonder if, if I'm getting a distorted view because of the news and things, but it doesn't look good to me. Okay, have a look at this guy. It's pretty good. Go. Sometimes it just won't go. Don't wait too long, it may all be gone. Okay, and also about silver. If you get an ounce of silver for $20 right now, that is like worth $20. And it's way better than having the evil money. And if 2 million people, like someone said on here, if 2 or 3 million people just bought a little bit of silver, it would just take it out of their hands. Oh my gosh, why isn't this going? Okay, never mind. I'll just go down here. So there's another one I would like you to see. This one right here. AG, July 17th. Okay, the shortfall of inventory in the bullion banks is no secret. The price knockdown was reputed to be an action to scare weak hands from gold as a bad investment and get long weak hands out of their positions as well. If it scared enough investors from gold, it could end up protecting the runs on the bullion banks' shaky inventory levels. This seems to have backfired according to some who opine this. Okay, so this is true. This is one way of confiscating the gold. They strike it down, and then people just go, oh my gosh, I got to get out of this, well, so I can still have some money, and then they buy it all up when it comes back into the market, and then they'll raise the price so high that no one can get any, or there won't be any left to get. So it's obvious by what we can see here that Russia, South Korea is starting their own gold trading exchange, and 2014 also. So these countries in the East are starting to open gold trading exchanges, and the US and some European banks are not delivering. That's amazing. Okay, so let's see. It might have scared some from gold, but in reality it just offered the Eastern bullion banks, central banks, and investors an opportunity to buy at $200 to $300 less an ounce and buy in 20 to 1,000 ton tranches. Someone just offered a 20% discount of one of the best forms of real money there is. That you, Paine Webber. That's a heck of a bargain that I think was an unintended sequence of this price busting from mid-April. And yes, that was the Western banks and gold are being gutted. The very stealthy way this is taking place, Grand Theft Gold in plain sight, so well concealed by the folks who should know better, is quite the scheme. Not to mention just taking it and melting it down at a refinery and putting a new stamp on it by China and erasing the German Bundesbank. I don't understand. Gold is down. GLD. Now, GLD must be the paper, right? GLD is down to about 940 tons with $12 million of GLD stock. That one should be able to acquire, say, a half a ton of gold shipped from HSBC to Hong Kong or Shanghai, pocketed into a vault or flipped for a nice profit is one heck of a gift from stupid bankers and traders to smart folks who will shortly end up with a preponderance of gold left in U.S. and other Western banks. I'm not saying I understand all of this. This legal removal of gold is sort of a comeuppance to the arrogance of Western bankers, in my opinion. We as small stackers might have no effect on these actions, given 400 ounce bars are flying over to China and India to be melted, checked for purity, recast into smaller ingots, and stacked in their vaults. But we're getting a decent price on our purchases too. That's all I can say. Is if you can get your hands on a few ounces of silver, or take some money out of the bank, because supposedly the retirement accounts, well, they want to impoverish everyone, mentally, physically, and financially. So these are some things to think about. Okay, another thing it says here. I don't know what will happen when the Western vaults are looted until they're empty, or when a Western bullion bank force majeure will take place. But it is coming. No one with the liquidity as demonstrated by the Chinese, Russian, and Indian, and I think Brazilian, is going to stop buying gold at 20% off sales so long as the midnight gold discount window is open. And this is true. Russia has been buying since 2005, supposedly. Okay, well, there's more here, but once GLD is stripped of gold or depleted to the point that their and HSB fraud is exposed, I think that will signal game over. JP Morgan can play games with their gold holdings, so can CNT, Brink, Scotia, and others, declaring the force majeure and delaying the day of reckoning while their overlords run high cover through ESF and BIS, Bank of International Settlements, paper trading action. Okay, whether they get away with this and avoid jail or worse remains to be seen. But like ABN AMRO, I speculate they'll try to figure out how to cover their arses with a little help from their friends. Yeah, probably. And there's another one down here. Well, there's a lot, you know. I always learn a lot by reading comments from people, because everybody has their viewpoint. Yeah, so Mikey J80, he responds to AG, which I just read, and you know, it's thought-provoking and gets you thinking about your own situation. You know, if you can get a tenth of gold or a quarter of gold, just never know. You know, there's something really great about that, and it can wake you up to certain things. Okay, Shanghai Exchange is settled physically much more often than the COMEX is. If the gold is heading over there, it's more likely that a long actually wants the physical, where at COMEX it seems mostly a paper play, though we all know the direction of the stocks. So one thing I wanted to mention is that if they're the silver dealer, gold silver dealer that I go to, you go in, and it's just like an old-time bank. It hasn't been changed in 50 years. There's about 5 guys in there shuffling paperwork, etc. Jewelers and people who are in the industry to create things with gold and silver come in there and buy it in bulk. And the funny thing is, they have two TVs in there, and they have cartoons on. It's just really funny. You know, they had like Thomas the Train, or one of I mean, they have cartoons on in there, and those guys are sitting sometimes they're just wearing t-shirts, and you know, they have like a teller looking counter, and very old-fashioned. I hope it never changes. And then they have a computer, of course, so they're always checking the price, you know, the spot price worldwide, which is the same. But they don't have like all these buzzer doors and um, um, you know, bulletproof glass and all of that. But other places that I go to that are Western, that's what they have. You have to be buzzed in one door, go into a little waiting room, be buzzed into the next door, or at Kitco, when you go in there, you have a totally private room that you go in that you are buzzed into. And no one can hear you talking or doing anything. It seems like it's illegal. So it's a funny thing. But there's nothing wrong with having decent money. But people just don't know, and they forget to call it money. So the other thing that I wanted to show you was just that, oh no, I better not leave this page, because as soon as I stop this, I'll forget. I won't be able to put the links down there that took a long time to find. Okay, I open a new page to show you. Okay, we got the popsicle going. So the computer is a bit slow. So just, oh, I did make a video a while ago, and it was, the title of the video was Gold to be Taken Off the Table. So this is a plan, and then the idea about the weak hands. The weak hands, they let the gold go because they panic, and then the long weak hands, in the future, people just, you know, still they let it go, and before you know it, there will be none. And then what? Are we forced to use Bitcoin or be chipped? And there is no escape. When the guy said location, 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 about where you are and how to manage this, I think the US is going to go down first, but it will be worldwide. If it's one world government. But there's nothing to fear, because this is all God's plan. So most of all, get your soul saved. Because God does have a plan here, and it's so obvious to see it, you know. All the prophecies are coming true, and our hearts are wicked. I mean, we all know it. So there's a provision for this through Jesus Christ. It just makes so much sense, you know. I mean, it seems surreal sometimes, but it's a beautiful thing. Okay, this last one is just to show you the South Korean precious metals exchange. Okay. New South Korea gold exchange, more proof of strong Asian. South Korea opening gold exchange in Q1 2014. So, hey, there's lots of opportunities in Asia, everyone. I mean, this is true. A lot of people, I met Someone told me that people from Spain, or even a lot of Israelis are here, and people from all over, they call it El Dorado because there's opportunity here. So I'm not saying to leave the U.S., but you can see the writing on the wall, and if God wants you to go, puts it in your heart, you might consider it. At least get a passport. You never know. People who got out of Nazi Germany and lived, they noticed what was going on, and they just decided, I'm not staying here, because they could see things were looking pretty bad. So just something to think about. Okay, so South Korea buys more gold. South Korea adds 14 tons of gold. Okay, that was December 12th, 2012. Anyway, the U.S. is depleted. Germany's will never get their gold back. This is sad. Sorry for the long video. I will put the links that so you can go listen to that interview by William Kay yourself, and God bless everyone. I pray that everyone the truth is revealed to them, and the truth that you need to know, and don't play games with your soul. Okay? Okay, God bless everyone. Bye for now.